when we talk about Afghanistan and Pakistan, we have a serious problem of terrorism. The terrorism that is taking place from across the border, that is a huge concern for Pakistan. So I don't see, unless these issues are not resolved, I don't see we're going to recognize it.
That Afghanis are ungrateful people. They really don't acknowledge whatever we did.
Well,
But
even
there is something in them. But nobody in this country made any serious effort in addressing those grievances. Have we?
Listen, Dr. Zafar, like even in the Western world, wherever I travel, wherever I go, the people that I found very aggressive or having some deep kind of hatred towards Pakistanis, that's there is a strong reason that when I ran a study on that, why is it like that? This attitude is something really weird and it should not be happening in first place. So the basic reason is the way things have been inculcated into the minds of those people that Pakistan is your enemy. And I
Who
don't
did
want,
that? Who did it?
yeah, if you want me to pick fights with countries, yeah, so India has been involved in
Yeah.
training, educating,
Yes.
educating those masses.
What gave and who gave India that space to plant its feet there and inculcate that kind of feeling amongst the
Listen,
Afghans?
that was like Pakistan is all the time made busy in its own kind of situation. If it's a political instability, economic instability, or some kind of other stuff that will happen.
Watch Federal Post. Bold and independent.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Talking Politics. This is Hassan Zafar. We have Dr. Farah Naz joining us from Australia. Thank you very much, madam, for joining. The good news is Russia becomes the first country in the world to recognize the Taliban regime in Afghanistan. How do you see this development?
Well, I think this is a very strong movement or gesture by Russia to officially recognize the government of Taliban in Afghanistan. And I could see it like when I connect the dots, they were already planning on the same lines when they took Taliban from the list of terrorist groups, and then they slowly moving towards having even like in the entire period of since the Taliban took over in the 4 years, the trade between Russia and Afghanistan never stopped. Even Russia was the only country which never moved its embassy from Afghanistan, from Kabul, where all other embassies they were vacated. So all these things were that Russia always looked up to Afghanistan and having stronger diplomatic ties with Afghanistan. But how the entire world is going to respond to it, it's not going to be welcomed by them. They were always and always looking up to Russia as a bully, and now they will be considering it Russia again a bully in terms of global power dynamics, where for recognizing the government of Taliban, they set three conditions, and those three conditions have yet not been fulfilled. And Russia itself have been a target of terrorism recently, and that terrorist incident also is linked back to Afghanistan. So why Russia all the way is coming forward? Definitely, Russia has its own, grounds for its own reasons for doing it, but it won't be a smooth ride. There will be lots of problems and hurdles coming Russia and Afghanistan way to lead this diplomatic relationship forward.
What kind of hurdles and problems you see coming their way?
Well, Russia is already under lots of sanctions, and we are aware of Afghanistan is also facing sanctions and problems. Where there's like if we talk about the billions of dollars which are frozen in the American banking system, along with that, I can't say that the West has not been supporting Afghanistan in these 4 years. Of course, they were not supporting Taliban on the face of it, but they were trying to provide these funds, and some kind of mechanism was taking place to support either young girls or women empowerment or doing some kind of projects or whatever. But these kind of stuff were there. The hurdles that I could see is that since now there's new development in the region where Russia has officially and formally recognized the government of Kabul, and then at the same time, China also accredit the Taliban nominated ambassador as well. So this shows that Russia and China, they're aligning against the West in terms of where the West has openly negated the government of Taliban, but these countries, they are not only acknowledging but formally and officially accepting it as well. So definitely, as they are strategizing and grouping against the today's world power dynamics, the power dynamics will also go against these countries one way or the other.
Yeah. Have you heard of anybody talking about women's education in Europe and the United States ever since Donald Trump became the president?
I think Donald Trump, when he got into power, he opened a lot of Pandora box problems for not only American people but for the for everyone else. I was just speaking to someone today that we are in receipt of messages that if we have to travel to the United States, we have to take all these special measures into consideration. We have to surrender our electronic gadgets to be tried and checked by the security forces, and even we have to be sure of that if there is any political involvement, maybe we are either deported or detained or whatever. So, talking about women empowerment, I think there's a lot happening since the Trump's takeover. And when we
No,
talk about
this whole discourse of equality, empowerment, and everything, it has just vanished, disappeared from the Western media,
I
Western talk.
I completely agree with you that everything has vanished from the Western media and the European media. But that is also for probably a reason that now their interest in Afghanistan is also losing. And that gap, like whenever we talk about in the terms of academia, we always identify a gap. That gap has been filled by the Russia in terms of recognizing and officially accepting them. What in terms of like what I can see why Russia is taking this step, this is a huge step. It could see the energy deals that is going to have in, or the energy potential in Afghanistan that is going to utilize in times to. Then, secondly, the connectivity that it is offering. Of course, for China is involved there, but China does not want to invest lots of money there. It wants some partners involved in it as well. So, if China look into another partner in terms of the financial potential and capacity, that's definitely Russia. So, because the other like European countries and America or its stronger allies, they will never support this game. So, Russia is the only country that can stand along with China to have those kind of energy deals and utilizing all those potentials to make more money and resources utilization for their countries as well and for Afghanistan as well. So this is what I can see is, and then the third major, like the second one is the connectivity, because for China the BRI project and its extension to Afghanistan is also very important. The third point is the terrorism elements. And there are lots of discussions going on that through Russia acknowledging and accepting the Taliban government in Kabul, they are going to work together on terrorism, terrorist organizations, and drugs, and all those elements related to it as well. So, in a nutshell, I could see Russia see a potential where there is a market, where there is it can sell like even in these 4 years. Russia was always engaged in selling its oil, gas, and probably the wheat as well. So these kind of trade partnership was also going on. And since there are sanctions on Russia, Russia wanted to explore more and more markets. If there is already an established market, why not? And then there is also a discussion going on about that they are also trying to utilize or having a local currency for their own trade in between whatever countries group together. So there is what from global perspective, what I can see is another block is emerging.
Yes. What I can see that what the Soviet Union could not achieve militarily in 1979, Vladimir Putin has been able to achieve uh, through diplomatic means. And there is a reasonable Russian presence in Afghanistan now. And we also hear that Iran is going to recognize the Taliban government next. So what started in 1979 is coming to a full swing, full circle. Yes. So,
Yeah.
that's how history is shaping up now. Yes.
Well, their history is very awkward, if I say. Because like when during the Soviet-Afghan war and during the Soviet time, their relationships were not too good, and the cost to life was very huge because Afghanistan lost so many people, like millions of them, and then at the same time, Russia also lost like more than 15,000 people. So they have a very bad past. But based on what they wanted to achieve at that time and what they want to achieve now, but this time, with the withdrawal of the Western forces from Kabul and Afghanistan in particular, they left a vacuum, and somebody had to fill that vacuum. Probably at that time when they were leaving, they were not realizing. They thought maybe it's okay, they can move on, and Afghanistan is already like their territory, and they can control and manage whenever they want to. But as they moved, other forces they try to intervene in, like as China is very frequently involved in, and China was also like having some kind of diplomatic partnership other than officially recognizing the government of the Taliban in Afghanistan, but they were having diplomatic ties with Taliban, and at the same time Russia also had trade partnership. So in this time where there is a futile ground for to flourish and to improve and work on, as you mentioned yourself as well, that whatever they could not achieve back in time, they want to achieve now. So probably they are cleaning or clearing some of the businesses that were pending since the Soviet time. And Purin is a very shrewd person. He knows when, where, and how to play the cards. Even the way he managed the Russia-Ukraine war, and the sanctions, and the way he controlled the ruble and the price against the dollar, I think he knows when, where, and how to play it. So his presence in Afghanistan, this is going to be a huge kind of, a blow for the Western forces, and probably they will not be very happy with this movement.
I have a $67 million question, and that is, what does it mean for Pakistan?
Well, Pakistan, I would say, is a country who never ever cashed what it could at the right time. Its strategic location is very important. Let it be if there is a war between any country. If it's Iran, Pakistan is very important. If it's India, Pakistan is important. If it's China, Pakistan is important. Afghanistan, Pakistan is important. But what
Are you
Pakistan,
saying we have no escape from the war, no
sorry?
matter where it happened? You are
Yeah.
saying we have no escape from the war. Wherever it happens, we are part of it.
But no matter whoever you choose, we will be somewhere sandwiched in between. And we are like that kind of cheese, which is like everywhere on every piece of bread. So, in this game, the new, as I said, a new bloc is emerging where Pakistan is standing. Pakistan cannot leave the Western bloc one way or the other. And if Pakistan is shifting
Why
towards,
not? Why not? Let's hold for a second. Why
we also
can't Pakistan leave the Western War? I think we need some clarity on this point, because in the previous few weeks, few days especially, we have an increasing leaning towards the United States. That is very, very clear. So, but why can't we leave? That remains unanswered.
this is like a leg pulling kind of question, but I will take it. Um, Pakistan, why it cannot leave, the Western powers or the Western allies, or particularly if we be very blunt, the United States. We have a longer history. We have a longer partnership. We have fought wars together, like in Kabul, in Afghanistan, the terrorism and all of those. We have been partnered in terrorism, counterterrorism measures, and we have financial agreements and
So
deals
we
and
have kind of this long-term relationship has now it has some feel of Stockholm syndrome. We can't.
look,
Uh,
look, look, Dr. Zephyr, it's like we have longer partnership, but in partnership, of course, our partner is also in trouble at the moment. It's not only us. So we are following the same kind of league, right? It's not Pakistan alone. America is also in trouble water at the moment because there is
so
a
we
block.
both need shoulders.
Yeah, but like I would say, it's like coming from a realist perspective. I would say is Pakistan needs to maintain good ties with not only America but all regional countries and its neighbors in particular as well. We need to have look into this diplomatic partnership very positively, but at the same time, if it's going to be anti or very hostile towards Pakistani state, definitely we will have our concerns. But in case of who we're going to side with in this situation, Pakistan needs to remain way away from all of this because we have no business. If Russia is acknowledging, but Russia never took, or Putin never took, some kind of acknowledgement from Pakistan first. So we were never considered in this situation. But definitely, if there is something happening, huge, big, or whatever, it will have consequences for Pakistan. So we need to be very careful.
Dr. Farah, let's imagine in the next 7 days, Iran has recognized, China has recognized our immediate neighbors, our potential future allies, and we are still clinging on to a declining past.
Well, it's not a declining past. If I look into the Afghanistan, the
No,
terrorism,
I'm talking about the United States.
so the United States is a different, but Afghanistan is about recognizing Afghanistan. So we have, like we were when Taliban took over. I think I was one of the few people who were writing that we need to give them time. Maybe they will be doing all of those promises that they were trying to do. And I was one of those people as well who were having dialogues, conversation with all the teams that were having, some kind of exchange of communication between the Taliban government and the Islamabad leadership as well. And we thought they bluffed us. They kept saying that they would be giving. I was definitely speaking for women empowerment and women rights and girls education, and they were promising that they would be doing it, but they never fulfilled their promises. And even today, year 12 onwards, girls are not allowed to go to school. So this is one of the basic promise that
Have you taken care of the children going to school in our own country that we should be worried about Afghanistan?
but our in our school, Dr. Zafar, like I am graduated from same Pakistan. Nobody stopped me there. And it's not only me, there are several others. There are odd cases everywhere. And it's not only Pakistan that struggles with some of the cases, it's many more countries as well. But Afghanistan, after Taliban took over, that's a different story, which is like they are asking for a female doctor for their wives or sisters or mothers to be treated, but they don't want year 12 onwards girls to get education. So from where those female doctors will be coming, that's a huge question mark. In
Uh,
case of, I'm letting you
I,
raise another.
I understand this point, but the point here is Afghanistan is a sovereign country. They have their own system, they have their own preferences, choice of life. Anybody else in the world, do you think it is right to tell them how to live their lives?
No, I think everybody has the right to do whatever they want to do within their country, but then there is basic human rights that needs to be given to everyone that we all fully abide by. If there is some kind of problem in Pakistan or in any country, why we all are standing against each other? If there is today something happening in Gaza, why we are supporting? Let people do whatever they want to do. No, there is a system that we all have to follow and we all stand and support each other. But when we talk about Afghanistan and Pakistan, we have a serious problem of terrorism. The terrorism that is taking place from across the borders, that is a huge concern for Pakistan. So I don't see, unless these issues are not resolved, I don't see we're going to recognize it. But if it has to be recognized, Taliban government also need to do something about it. If Russia is having some business, definitely there would be some arrangements in the background. They would have agreed upon something because for Russia, as I stated, energy, then they
What
need
is in Pakistan's interest at the moment?
to have
Um,
terms. I would say to have good terms with everyone, as I said, including the United States, including the regional countries and neighbors as well. But for that, Pakistan cannot compromise its security. Pakistan cannot compromise its geostrategic
yes,
position.
but don't you think we can have better assurances about our security if we have
Definitely, this is
formal diplomatic relations with them? Let's not forget that Pakistan hurried in sending the Afghan refugees back the uh, previous year, and that has really soured the relations. Already not so happy relations are further soured.
what
And
I,
yes, yes,
but
please.
but Dr. Zafir, that decision was not taken in isolation. There was a lot of background involved in that, right? So it has a baggage. It was not like that Pakistan kept those people from for 40 years since that war happened, and nobody even said a thank you, a simple thank you, right? So it's such a thankless job that Pakistan has done, and all those people, they have been like today the ice culture, the drugs, and
But
all those.
have we really bothered to find out why were they like that? I would not want to imagine that Afghanis are ungrateful people. They really don't acknowledge whatever we did.
Well,
But
even
there must be something in them. But nobody in this country made any serious effort in addressing those grievances. Have we?
listen, Dr. Zafar, like even in the Western world, wherever I travel, wherever I go, the people that I found very aggressive or having some deep kind of hatred towards Pakistanis, that's the with all due respect and apologies, that's
No,
the
I understand.
Afghan.
Understand.
And they never even like we can easily mingle up with Indians, to be very frank. But with
Why is
Afghani,
that?
have
Do we know the answer of this simple question?
it's
Why is
like
that?
I ran some kind of research to understand why is it like that. This attitude is not something that should happen because we share the same culture, we share the same traditions, even the language, some
Exactly.
of them. So
And there are relatives across the border. There are
have
friendships across the
we have
border.
even marriages
There are
across the border.
unbreakable bonds across the border. When why is that?
There is a strong reason that when I ran a study on that, why is it like that? This attitude is something really weird and it should not be happening in first place. So the basic reason is the way things have been inculcated into the minds of those people that Pakistan is your enemy. And I
Who
don't
did
want,
that? Who did it?
yeah, if you want me to pick, fights with countries, yeah. So India has been involved in
Yes,
training,
yes, yes.
educating those masses,
And
producing.
then we jump to the next question. What gave and who gave India that space to plant its feet there and inculcate that kind of feeling amongst the
Listen,
Afghans?
that was like Pakistan is all the time made busy in its own kind of situation. If it's a political instability, economic instability, or some kind of other stuff that will happen, or if nothing is happening, then nature will do something nasty with Pakistan through floods or earthquakes or stuff. So Pakistan has always remained occupied in wars, in conflicts, or instabilities. So that led towards having less presence of Pakistan in Afghanistan, and India manipulated it. India utilized it, and even whatever Pakistan tried to do for Afghanistan, Afghanistan always appreciated India over Pakistan. So there is also a kind of acceptability of India in Afghanistan rather than Pakistan, and that's the
I,
mindset.
I, I think uh, even blaming entirely India for whatever the situation is would be kind of oversimplification of the matter. They did. India, of course, capitalized on a situation, but the situation was already there, and that is because, as I understand, they thought that we help the Americans to invade their country. So, if that is the national memory of the Afghans, there has to be a way to address it.
But where is that memory gone when India helped Russia to invade Afghanistan as well? So they have a short memory syndrome, I believe, where they
Yeah.
remember Pakistan
So we
supported.
need to work on it. That's exactly what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
So they are remembering that Pakistan supported United States, and they are still looking up to the same United States to come help them, rescue them, give them funds, and do all of those stuff for them, even recognize them. But they are aliens with Pakistan who kind of led that agenda to lead the war against terrorism in Kabul or in Afghanistan. But India, who supported Soviet Union back in time, they are still friends with them. They are still letting India to come and to teach them in their schools the education, the curriculum. Even if you pick like some of the curriculums that we pick and we studied, that kind of led these minds to move towards. So they have created generations of having a mindset anti-Pakistan. So
Yes,
them,
okay.
so
There's
it's
one
like
more thing.
them is
One more
difficult.
thing. There were reports that Afghans were hand in glove with the Indians when the Indian Raw Agency was working alongside Mossad in Iran during the recent war. And after that, we have reports that Iran is expelling 40, 50,000 Afghans
What,
back to
what?
Afghanistan every day. But even then, there are reports today that Iran could be the next to recognize the Taliban government. The whole point is, if there is bitterness and misunderstanding on both sides, The solution is not to shut the door onto each other. That's what I'm saying.
Diplomacy, yes, diplomacy is the only viable solution at the moment, and we need to kind of address all those problems or grievances that we are having against each other or towards each other. But here, when we talk about the why Pakistan is asking the Mahajireens, or like the people from Afghanistan to leave, why not they ask India to keep all those people? Why India is not taking all that lot? Because India is the
No,
biggest economy. India is much better in terms of the numbers that it is portraying in the international system. Why not they are going there where they are more comfortable, even if they are going to
no,
have some problems.
they are more comfortable in Pakistan, I believe, and those Afghan
They
children who
are,
were born in Pakistan should
but
be
India,
given Pakistani citizenship. They have
but
lived all their lives here,
but
so
Dr.
we have to
Zafar will
open
not.
our hearts
No,
to
I
make them feel
would
that.
disagree with that.
No,
Dr. Zafar, their loyalty lies with India. So if their loyalty lies with India, they need to go there where they belongs to. They never belongs to Pakistan. We kept them there. They are still like, looking up to us like someone else. We have shared our own bread with you. We have shared our own houses with you. I know while growing up in Pakistan, I am very much Pakistani, and I've grown up with lots of Kabul and Afghani people around me. Even like the our clothing from where we buy, it's all like the Afghan people. So we know we have given them whatever we could. But in return, this is all what they're giving us. This is what we all deserve. Terrorism, suicide, all these
I understand
things.
your feelings too, because they are well founded in some experiences, and there must be well founded reasons on the other side too. The whole point is, unless you sit together and you spit these bitter feelings out, there is going to be no way out for this problem,
I,
and
I,
we have to
I
find a
agree.
way. We
Yeah,
have to
Doctor.
find. Can we agree on one point, single point? We have to find a way. We
Of course,
cannot change.
we have we have to fight away. But like, I clearly remember when we were having that Kabul and Islamabad dialogue, and then we had people from that part and people from Islamabad, and we were sitting in Serena, and across the table they were literally on our throats, as if we have taken something from them and bring Taliban on them, and it's not America. How is this possible? The world powerful military and defense system, they just like said, oh, we surrendered, and Taliban are so powerful and we are leaving. It was not a natural and organic kind of thing happening. It was probably designed, and they had promises back in Doha as well that they're going to withdraw by this time or that time. So it was already in plan. It was already there. If you are blaming Pakistan for supporting United States, first go to the United States, ask United States, and then come back to Pakistan. But yes, we are sharing neighborhood. We should always sit together, try to resolve the
We
problem.
are also sharing
Some,
neighborhood with the Indians who were throwing bombs on us just 2 months
but
ago.
we don't want to happen, because whenever we never call Indians, this is what most of the Indian people who watch some of the shows, they say, oh, she always call Afghan brothers and she never call Indians brothers. So Indians are never our brothers. We
You know,
already left.
Indians have their own problem. They have their own complications, their
But
own complexes.
we always call we always
They are
call people
they are
Afghan.
all caught in their past. It's their job to find a way out of it.
But for
None of
but
our
to
business,
but
frankly
towards
speaking.
Yeah, but towards Afghanistan, we always have this soft element and soft feeling that we are brothers, we are sisters, we're together. But are they all also taking us together? Are we also brothers and sisters for them or no? I have never seen any Afghani or any
No,
people
let's
who are cozy.
give a break to this brother sister thing for a while. Just think of us as neighbors whose future is depending on each other. Afghanistan is a landlocked country. They need trade route from Pakistan. They need trade with Pakistan. So Afghan transit trade should not have been stopped in the first place because it's their livelihood. Even in very, very bad circumstances, uh, this route should be given to the Afghans. And
I
this is a moral
agree.
responsibility. This is, according to World Trade Organization, obligation that we should give trade to the landlocked countries.
I agree with you. That should happen. And I think peaceful Afghanistan will have a peaceful Pakistan as well. So we should promote that. But first thing first, they need to stop using terrorism across the border. Until that is not stopped, nothing is going to happen. So this is the first, what we call it, like a tick box that they need to tick, and then we're going to have more kind of cozy relationship with each other. But unfortunately, Dr. Zafar, I don't know from where you're coming and how you are so optimistic about it. I don't
I,
see
I am optimistic.
the
I am
government of
optimistic about one thing, that if we open our doors for them and we have a long shared
so
history with each other.
let millions of people come and live and share.
If if Pakistan recognizes Afghanistan alongside Iran, China, and other neighbors of Afghanistan, because the neighbors should come first. India does not share a border with Afghanistan. We do. We should come first before India. At least we should recognize the Taliban government. That's my opinion. Anybody can disagree with it, but to my understanding, once we have moved one step forward, we should see uh, if they take a step forward too.
I
And then we
agree.
should.
I agree with you, but like that recognition should be based on some kind of understanding. All those countries who are recognizing them, they have some arrangement with the government in Kabul. Unless Taliban also agree that they want to have a peaceful relationship with Pakistan, they cannot. Pakistan can't do much about it because Pakistan is not having terrorism in Afghanistan. It's terrorism from Afghanistan soil on Pakistan that is happening. That's the major problem between the two countries that is happening at the moment. But yes, we need to bring the two sides together. Pakistan never stopped diplomatic relationship with Taliban or with Kabul. We still have our embassy in function. It's a functional one, and there is dialogue going on. But what sort of dialogue is going on? That's debatable, right? Because they are not coming to terms, and I don't see with geopolitics, I don't see any softness in Taliban towards Pakistan. So how are they going to, have some kind of good partnership with each other? Yes, we are neighbors, we are brothers, we should be taking it that way. But they also
Maybe
need to
the
take it
smell
that
of
way.
good lamb roast can change things when we sit together at the dinner table.
For Pakhtuns, yeah, for Pakhtuns maybe yes, but
Yes, that is right.
even for that lamb needs to be up to the taste of
No,
both
you
parties.
play nice Afghan music, invite them over for nice lamb dinner.
In our
Yeah.
weddings, there's always like Afghan music. Even the restaurants, we prefer to go to the Afghan tikkas and all those, the
I
food and
like
the rice.
Afghan music. I like it very much. Very much.
Of course, even overseas, I always prefer those ones. Even the Afghan naan, we always prefer that. The language is
Hmm.
beautiful. We all share all those things. But we are like one and the same people. I always say we are cousins. Even like if I go back into my history, it's somewhere Afghan. So this is how things are. But where the problem lies is the political distribution, political problems which needs to bring to resolve.
Hmm.
And that is only possible if Taliban also have a big heart. Pakistani side also needs to have a big heart, sit on the negotiation tables, and instead of bullying each other, they need to come to terms. And what terms could be? As far as I know, the first condition is that they need to stop cross border terrorism. There's no second thought about it. So they need to stop it. If India is bombing us, we cannot have good relationship with India in that environment. The environment needs to be made some kind of futile, some kind of, conducive. So there is some good kind of dialogue, whatever rosy stuff that you are hoping for, that can only happen in that environment.
Yes. And there is a war going on within ourselves. We have to fight it ourselves and find a way forward. Thank you very much, Dr. Farah. And we'll be happy to get along well together in the future. Khuda Hafiz, Pakistan. Zindabad.